You can throw boom at the same time. Every time the boom is going out. It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, it's on. I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that.
Hey, now if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways.
The buzz around Tank Davis ahead of his huge showdown with Jake Paul is off the charts. Mike Tyson, who's been mentoring Davis during training, says he's never seen Tank look this sharp. Davis is stronger, faster, and more explosive than ever, with a chiseled upper body and unmatched speed. His transformation has shocked fans and analysts alike. Tank isn't just preparing for a fight, he's preparing for war.
You can't really tell, but when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it. I'm gonna tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys another workout of mine. Let me be absolutely clear with this, all right? I'm not trying to say that I'm a great fighter. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than you. We all know, Lord knows, that all you guys in the comments are Olympic gold medalists. You guys are fantastic fighters, and I can't come close to the level of great technique and great fighting that you are. I'm just working out, all right? And I was definitely trying to hit the bag as hard as I can. I was really working on my hooks more than anything. Now listen, I know that I'm trash, all right? So, you know, just look at it and be like, okay, showbiz trash or whatever. Or if you want to be inspired and you're on a journey like I am, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to not look like I'm 45 out here, all right? Other than the gray and the beard, all right? If you get inspired, please let me know in the comments. Other than that, all you Olympic gold medalists out there, I'm nowhere on your level, all right? But if you want to see it, it's going to be at the end of this video. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis. Listen, the reason why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds is because I think that's his walking around weight. And I have receipts for all this shit. You guys remember what, 4 or 5 years ago where he missed weight against Gamboa?
Mike Tyson recently said he's backing Gervonta Davis to beat Jake Paul because of his pure punching ability. After training together, Tyson was amazed by Tank's timing, power, and knockout precision. His punches have that old-school snap, Tyson said. He admitted Jake has improved, but believes Tank's instincts and ring IQ are superior. Tyson told ESPN's Stephen A. Smith that Davis must finish the fight, no judges. He warned that too many boxers lose by playing it safe, then added that Davis reminds him of himself in his prime. A modern-day Iron Mike, built for destruction.
Against Davis, what are your thoughts about this upcoming fight?
See, I kind of lead towards Davis a little because of his style of fighting and what makes him different than most fighters that he do, that I once did, is when he punches, he catapults himself in the air. And normally in the air, you're out of position, have no leverage. But for some reason, myself and Mr. Davis, our best point is when we're leaping in the air, like being catapulted to punch up, because he's not much of a guy that punches down, as we saw with Pitbull Cruz. So what's his name? Pitbull Cruz gave him his hardest fight, but
Right.
he was a very aggressive guy, not like Ryan. Man.
Yeah, you talk about Isaac Cruz. Definitely, he gave it an aggressive fight.
Yes.
But I thought that particular fight, Gervonta showed me boxing skills that I didn't even realize he had because, Pitbull comes at you and he's very good defensively, so he covers himself well. But I thought Gervonta did a great job boxing in that particular fight. Here's what I think. I think this is the kind of fight Gervonta Davis is going to have to get the knockout because Ryan Garcia is taller. Obviously, he's fighting at a catch weight with that dehydration clause and all of this stuff, but he's longer, he's taller, he's got a jab, he uses it to avoid that power that Gervonta Davis is going to give him, he wins the fight. I think the only way for Gervonta to beat him is to knock him out. To that you say what?
I believe he can beat him if it goes the distance as well.
You think Gervonta can beat him if he goes the distance?
He's going to win the fight, yes.
So you got him winning this fight?
Yes, I do.
Jake Paul's promoter, Nakisa Badarian, gave his honest view. Jake's got the size and weight advantage, but not Davis's ring experience. Tank has lived in gyms since childhood, mastering timing, distance, and power, lessons Jake is still learning. Jake's bigger and stronger, Badarian said, but Tank's instincts are on another level. Experience like that, he added, can't be gained overnight.
And Gen Alpha, they are the two biggest boxers in America, and they're putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is obvious, but so is the skill and experience difference. One man has been doing this for 23 years, since the age of 7. The other picked up the sport 5 years ago and has virtually no amateur experience. So the size difference is what makes this plausible. The king of the jungle here is Tank Davis. He is the lion taking on the young elephant that is Jake Paul. The lion is looking at me like he's about to eat me. The lion is fast, he's fierce, and he's fatal when he strikes. But the young elephant is big, powerful, and hard to knock down. And come Friday, November 14th, the jungle will be set in tropical Miami, Florida, and the world will be watching live on Netflix globally to see who the victor will be. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a victor, because the fighters have agreed and the commission has approved a maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves.
Badarian also addressed Jake's size advantage. He said it won't decide the outcome. The catch weight only exists because Jake is still new to the sport. This fight wasn't a quick deal. It's been in talks for a long time. After plans for a Canelo-Alvarez fight collapsed, all paths led straight to Tank Davis, who had been pushing for this matchup for years.
Jake and Tank are going to happen November 14th.
Whatever weight they want, man, they're talking about it, and whatever it is, there's going to be a definitive outcome. People can talk about pro, exhibition. We're going to make sure this is as real as it's real.
Why was it, just out of curiosity, why is it not a professional bout and why is it an exhibition? Because I'm sure Jake would have taken the professional bout.
Nothing's been communicated as yet in terms of what it is, right? Similar to, if you remember, with Paul Tyson, when we announced it, we didn't have the weight, we didn't have the rules, particularly in terms of the number of rounds, the minutes, the gloves. It's going to be the same thing here.
Gotcha. Can you just offer us any insight as to how these negotiations went? And the reason I ask is because I remember back in March, I was at Tank's fight, and after his fight in his press conference, he was asked, next opponent. He said, well, my next opponent might have been in my locker room tonight. And people asked him, was it Jake? He made reference, he made allusion to. Has this been an ongoing thing? And has it ever, been at a point where it wasn't gonna happen and came back, or was this always the plan?
Always been the plan for Jake to fight Tank once Canelo didn't happen. And to Tank's credit, he's a real bad dude, and he's been calling out Jake for 3 years. And people, it's funny how now they're saying size matters, Jake is big, when for so long it's been Tank would kill Jake Paul. And now you get to see if that's real.
Former world champion Carl Fruck issued a warning. He believes Jake Paul's size and awkward power could still be dangerous. Tank's not used to being hit like that, Fruck said. Many agree this fight borders on risky, where the line between competition and danger begins to blur.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España. and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Frotch on Fighting, and we'll see you.
Ryan Garcia also slammed the fight, calling it completely insane. He argued that boxing is losing its credibility, saying, "It's turning into the WWE." Garcia believes these kinds of matchups make the sport look like entertainment instead of a real test of skill.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments.
But those critics forget what Gervonta Davis has already achieved: world titles, an undefeated record, and some of the most explosive knockouts in recent memory. Taking a big money fight doesn't erase that. In today's boxing world, where showmanship and skill go hand in hand, Tank proves you can have both: greatness in the ring and dominance in the spotlight.
We know that Gervonta is going to fight Jake Paul in November. And then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. Be interested to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit of business.
Promoter Eddie Hearn warned Jake Paul that he's stepping into dangerous territory. "Be careful what you wish for," Hearn said. He called it a mismatch, one that might sell millions but could seriously endanger Jake. Though he rated the bout 50-50, Hearn stressed that Paul risks far more than his record. His health is on the line.
Fighters, because this thing is going to be watched by hundreds of millions globally. Jay, give the people one thing that you can guarantee that they're going to get on November 14th when they tune in to Netflix.
Yeah, you're going to see the two biggest fighters in America go head-to-head with an amazing card. World championship fights back to back, and that's just how the MVP way we do it. And I'm gonna come for a knockout of the year again. I've seen it in my visions, I've seen it in my manifestation. I'm sleeping this guy and gonna create the most viral knockout ever.
Jake Paul, however, is all in. He's confident and promises to deliver the knockout of the year against Gervonta Davis. For Jake, this is more than a fight. It's his chance to silence critics and prove he's a real boxer. He wants to make history with a viral, career-defining knockout.
You don't ever fight no Shakur Stevenson, no Keyshawn Davis, no Teofimo Lopez, none of them dudes. You know what I'm talking about? We got to think and look at Tank Davis' whole career. He done made some bread, but at the end of the day, all that bread that he made, when it's all said and done, he ain't gonna get no respect from his peers because we gonna look down his resume and we gonna be like, he was trash, he was some trash, he was some trash, he was all right, but he was never like that. He was okay. He was some trash, he was some trash. He ain't did nothing. Hey, that's just what it's gonna be at the end of the day. Get mad, a moment of silence for all of the Gervonta Tank Davis meat bushes that's biting blood out their bottom lip right now. Hold on. Let's have a moment of silence. Everybody, bite blood out your bottom lip. Hey, I know you're mad, but you can't do nothing. Y'all can't do nothing about it.
Online, opinions are divided. Some say Gervonta Davis is avoiding elite fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, chasing money instead of legacy. Others defend him, saying his undefeated record and multiple titles speak for themselves. To them, Tank has already earned his place in boxing history. One fight doesn't define that.
Internet, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. In sports, Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul have a fight coming up. I ain't even gonna call it a fight because it ain't. If Jake Paul's involved in it, it's a great acting job. You know, Mike Tyson could have just knocked Jake Paul's face into the canvas, but he got paid to pull punches. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got paid. I'm pretty sure the same is going for Gervonta Davis. It's a quick money grab. Yeah, most of y'all gonna be suckers who tune in. It's just quick money grab. That's all I'm saying. Ain't gonna be no fight. I don't give a fuck how big Jake Paul is. He can't take one of them little mother tank punches. And yeah, tank move furniture. Move furniture. Catch that motherfucking move furniture. And Jake don't like his furniture move, so he gonna pay him not to hit him again. If you really want to show out Gervonta, sign a contract that you ain't gonna hit him, because if you hit him, you lose all the money. And then whoop that motherfucker's ass, put him to sleep, and get him out the boxing game once and for all.
Some critics call the fight a money grab, entertainment over real sport. They say the size gap and flashy promotion make it feel more like a show. Many fear boxing is losing its roots, trading real competition for social media fame. They argue the sport is drifting away from skill and true championship spirit.
The casual, but what about the hardcore boxing fans? Won't we stand up and put some value on fighters that dare to be great, that respect the sport of boxing and not just the business of boxing? Ryan Garcia never been a champion. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia never been a champion. Making more money than these guys, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, right? Ryan Garcia, the less accomplished fighter, was just main eventing in their last fight. Devin Haney was the co-main event, and Teofimo Lopez was playing third fiddle. Where was the hardcore boxing fans' dollars? Where was the hardcore boxing fans' appreciation?
What do you think Davis is chasing the money with this Jake Paul fight? Or is he simply proving that he can dominate anyone, anywhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
So what's your take? Is Gervonta Davis chasing the money, or is he out to prove he can beat anyone, anywhere? Share your thoughts below. The boxing world wants to know where you stand.